Love and money. It's complicated. I teach couples how to get to the root of their money issues so that they can develop a common understanding of how to move forward.
My name is Guillermo. I'm married to Gregory.
We've been together 10 years, married for 7, financially responsible for none of it. It's one area that I feel the least organized about, and I think he definitely sees that.
Want to be practical and like not think too much about it, do what we need to do, get it done, and forget about it.
I think what we hope to get out of today's session is improve some of the communication around the way we talk about money, which is generally sort of avoided.
Maybe you could just begin by telling me how money is working in your own lives so that we can all be starting together.
Well, if you're asking how it's working, I don't really think that it is.
We trust we're doing what we need to do and paying off what we need to pay off, but we just don't talk about it. We want to at least find a spot where we can both talk about money without being so afraid of it.
What are some things that you would sort of put up your hand and say, hey, we need to talk?
Well, just graduating this year, seeing the way my monthly student loan payment increased dramatically and almost comically.
And so how does the prospect of managing these student loans, where does that sit in your relationship?
I see it as just my own debt and my own responsibility. I couldn't imagine ever asking him to help me make a student loan payment or anything like that. He made it possible for me to even get to go back to school, making ends meet and paying the rent more than he needed to, and making sure that I was still able to make it happen.
Did you guys ever have a discussion about how you anticipated managing money as a married couple? Or did you go into it like two singletons getting hitched?
Kinda.
Yeah, kind of.
And that's still how I feel a little bit.
For Guillermo and Greg, the biggest issue is that they had really established their sort of pattern with money when they were just coupling up. And now their relationship had evolved and they were sort of taking on new challenges, like going back to school, and they didn't have a system in place to communicate about that or to really make sure that their money was structured in the most effective and appropriate way.
Where we were in our 20s when we first met, when we started dating, moving in, and then getting married, we were still 20-somethings in New York, just kind of making it work. And in your 30s,
We have to treat money and deal with money and live with it in a much more adult way now. And there's no like guidebook for that.
the fact that we're a gay couple, I didn't see myself ever getting married or sharing expenses, sharing all of that, because, 7 years ago, it just became a reality for us. We just wanted to stay together and be allowed to.
So some of this is a surprise. Married problems, if you
Kind
will.
of, yeah, absolutely. We didn't really expect this.
Because they were a same-sex couple raised by heterosexual parents, they didn't really have role models that they could identify with in terms of how this was supposed to work between them. So what do you think would be a reasonable time and way to talk about this?
You mean like we were gonna start a plan of like on Wednesday nights we sit and talk about this?
Ooh, Greg's face. Oh, Greg's face. Come up with an idea for how you might want to approach this and try it for a month or 2. The more that this is routine, the more you are starting to sort of rewire around how that works. There's a lot of creative opportunity for you guys of the generation of same-sex couples who will be creating a roadmap. Certainly it's going to be custom, right? But then you'll also have something that you can offer to others too. Now that Guillermo and Greg have a better idea of the pattern that they had fallen into as a couple and where they want to go, communication is the thing that's going to allow them to construct something together that's much more reflective and healthy for their vision together as a couple.
I liked a lot that Amanda brought up the idea of that we have to customize this for our relationship and really design it together.
We can feel more empowered about these decisions and these discussions rather than coming from this place of deficit
And fear.
and fear.
Yeah.
You guys are going to have such good back in the day stories. You can tell.
Pioneering couples.